Good morning, this is Dustin with Orlando Painters. www.orlandopainters.net. We're here in Winter Park, Florida, and we are looking at this backyard wood deck to stain. And I think this project here is the perfect example of how I can explain the use of oil-based stains and sealers versus water-based stains and sealers. Probably 3 or 4 times a week I'll get a phone call from somebody here in Central Florida, and they'll ask me, they'll start questioning me about, how to stain a boat dock or a deck or a fence. And they always will say, what should I use, oil-based stain or water-based stain? And in several of my past videos that I've made about wood staining, I've given you all the the bad features and characteristics of oil-based stains and sealers, using them here in the state of Florida. I can't explain it enough. I can't harp on it enough to stay away from oil-based stains and sealers in the state of Florida. Up north, oil-based stains and sealers and paints and all that, they work a lot better up north. Down here, down south, it's a totally different animal. The sun is absolutely brutal. It's super, super, super hot in the summertime. Mildew growth is a lot more down here, and oil-based stains and sealers are made with seed oils. And seed oils are actual food for mildew. So when you stain anything outside or paint anything outside here in Florida, mildew, and you use an oil-based stain, sealer, paint, the mildew is going to be all over that structure in no time at all. And then you can come in, you can continue for the next 20 years to clean it over and over and over again, and that's exactly what you're going to be doing over and over and over again, because the product's made with seed oils, and that's food for mildew, and the mildew's going to eat, and it's going to go right to your oil-based outside oil-based paint and sealers. And they're going to stay on there, and then you're going to clean it with bleach, and then you're going to clean it again in 2 or 3 months, and you're going to continue to do that. And then also, I'm gonna walk you down this deck. I'm gonna show you some of the horrible, after effects of using oil-based stains and sealers. Okay. I know I always talk about it in all my boat docks, and decks staining videos, but I think this is the perfect opportunity to actually show you how bad oil-based stains and sealers will turn out. I know it's easy to talk about things, but proof is showing, videos and pictures. So, and in fact, the reason why I'm so wanting to do this so much is I just got a phone call yesterday from a woman over in a subdivision over in Dr. Phillips here in Orlando, and it's a big, nice neighborhood, and they want to stain their community boat dock. And she called me and said, "Hey, are you Dustin with Orlando Painters?" And I'm like, "That's me." She goes, "Well, we got, you were referred to us that you really are the one to talk to about staining our boat dock." And I said, "Yeah, we do it every day." And she said, after she kind of described the project to me, I'm actually going to be out there. I'm supposed to meet her today and some other people out there today to kind of go over the whole entire process of how we do it. But as we went on and on about the scope of work, she let me know that she'd got another price or advice from another contractor, and then the first thing she said was he recommended using an oil-based stain and sealer on this boat dock. And I told her immediately, when somebody says something like that, they haven't stained very many boat docks. It's just a painting contractor looking for a quick job to get a check out of you. And because anybody here in the state of Florida knows, first of all, for starters, it's against the law to even use oil-based stains and sealers on our Florida waterways. So if you got caught using it, you'd be in trouble. So, and if you don't know that, then obviously you haven't done very much work, you know, staying in any boat docks in Florida. So that's a big, huge red flag. And I told her that. I said, you know, that's a huge red flag for somebody to say that to you. And you get one little drop in the water, and I'll tell you, within an hour, it'll look like the whole lake's got a big oil spill in it. One little drop. So the EPA and, you know, the Coast Guard, they frown upon that big time, using any oil-based stains or sealers on our waterways. It must be eco-friendly. So that's a big red flag. And she was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even realize that. Well, and also somebody saying that also is another big red flag, because in the state of Florida, everyone knows how brutal the sun is. You put an oil-based stain and sealer down, it dries so hard. I mean, oil-based stains or sealers, or let's just say oil-based paints, are very durable. But you know, when you're using a stain, a sealer, a polyurethane, what have you, it dries way too hard, especially on a horizontal surface where the sun is just beating down on it for, you know, 9-10 months out of the year. It starts to crack, and you see it all the time. You get all kinds of, I'm sure everyone here has looked at decks and docks and have seen where it's all split looking, you know, like the sealer itself is split up or spider webbed. Yeah, that's because you know, the urethane or the sealer or whatever they use, just the sun, it dries so hard that the sun just beats it till it starts to crack. So everyone's seen that. So it's a telltale sign. It's like when you walk into, you know, you look at a boat dock and you see mildew all over it, you know an oil-based stain is present. If you see where it's split and cracked, or, you know, spider webbed looking or anything on the top coat, then you know right then and there it's an oil-based stain and sealer. So I just can't say it enough. Stay away from oil-based stains and sealers in Florida. They're just not made for here. It's okay up north, but it's not okay here. Also, every time you go to recoat, like, you know, say a couple years down the road, you go to recoat your boat dock, and once you put an oil-based stain and sealer down, you're gonna have to continue to go oil-based stain and sealer. And every time you go back over top of it, it gets like a cloudier finish. It's never gonna be nice and crystal clear and real vibrant and, you know, just real pleasing to the eye at all. It's never gonna look nice and fresh and clean and vivid at all, ever again. Every time you put another coat of that stuff on there, the oil-based, it's going to continue to get cloudier and cloudier and cloudier and cloudier. It's never going to look beautiful and, you know, real eye-popping and ever. So, and it's like also like the lazy stain too. I mean, you can literally just spray it on and walk away. You know, oil-based stains and sealers penetrate real well. You don't have to do anything to them. It's real unforgiving at first, until you see, you know, a year down the road what it really looks like. Water-based stains and sealers, I can't get into my process. I don't think anybody knows, you know, how to stain. Well, we have just a certain procedure where when we stain our docks and decks, we can make our docks and decks, our stain projects, last 2-3 times longer than our competition. But it's all in how you prep the wood. It's all in how your actual staining process. There's a trick. There's absolute methods to it that I can't get into unless we sign contracts together. So no big deal. But anyway, also oil-based stains and sealers, they fade real fast versus water-based stains and sealers. And I'm gonna take you for a little tour on this deck, and I'm gonna show you this. The homeowner did this themselves, so, you know, it's not a professional job. As you can see, they got stain all over the fence. And that's okay, that was them that did it, so they understand that, and that's why they called us to come out here and try to take care of this project for them. This deck was done, I don't know, somewhere between a year and a half ago, I believe, and look at it. And this is, you know, the direct result of using an oil-based stain. I mean, sure, you can put an oil-based stain down on something, you know, on a new wood deck, and it'll look fantastic when you leave. But just wait 6, 7, 8 months to a year and look how bad it looks. It's not, Florida's not the place to be using oil-based stains and sealers. So I know I've been going on and on and on about this in this video, but I really want everyone to totally understand. I get, like I said, I get a couple, 2, 3 phone calls a week. People, you know, their first question to me is, what should I use, an oil-based stain or a water-based stain? And I'm just trying to give you the absolute truth about oil-based stains versus the water-based stains. I want you to be able to make a, you know, real informative decision when you're using these products. And it's going to save me a lot of time on the phone as well, because me on the phone with you for 5 or 10 minutes trying to throw all this information at you, you know, in a little short period of time is sometimes very confusing, and you can't really grasp it. At least in the video here, you can run through it. If you're trying to really comprehend it and understand it to make a real informative decision for yourself, you can always rewind and listen to what I'm saying. So I know I'm going kind of on and on about this, but this is a passion of mine, and I just, it irritates me, and I get really annoyed when customers call me and they tell me how, oh, this contractor said this and that, and it's the total opposite of what they should be telling you. And it all comes down to where they're not educated, you know, at this particular, you know, dock staining and deck staining. It's not just, hey, pressure wash the deck and throw some stain on there. Well, that's what it's, you know, appears to be to a lot of people, but that, you know, sure, and you can do it that way. I'm not saying, obviously, this is how it was done here. But there's if you want something to look beautiful, and you want something to last, and you want to be happy after spending, you know, a certain amount of money, you want to feel like you got a great job, you want to feel like you didn't get taken advantage of, you want to feel like you use somebody who really knows what they're talking about, and then, you know, years down the road it still looks great. You know, nobody gets upset when they pay for quality. You never get upset. You know what you get upset about? You get upset when you pay money and then something's a piece of junk or something doesn't last very long. That's when you get upset. When you buy something or pay for a great service or you buy a great product, you never get mad about that because it's quality. So I'm just trying to give you, you know, enough information so you can make a proper decision, because when you hear people saying that, it's a super red flag when a contractor comes in and tells you to be using oil-based stains and sealers on outside wood structures. It's just the wrong information to give you. And I'm going to kind of prove that to you right here. I know I talk about it a lot, but let's just look at this direct result of using oil-based stain, an oil-based stain and sealer here in Orlando, in the state of Florida. And let's just take a look at what I'm talking about. Now, this was done a year and a half ago. This, I mean, to me, absolutely unacceptable. Again, this was the homeowner, so, you know, it's not going to look perfect. But look at the unevenness. This is what you get, and it probably looked great the day they did it, you know. But, you know, a little bit time down the, you know, time's passed, and now look at it. And this is oil-based stain right here. This is 101. Look at this. I mean, look how uneven it is. It just looks ridiculous. And look at all the black. All this black and stuff you're seeing, this is all mildew. And this is exactly what I'm telling you. It's made out of seed oils and it attracts mildew like crazy. Look at all the, there's green mildew, black mildew. Look at this. Look how uneven all of this stain is. I mean, you know, I'm sure when they did it, it was perfectly solid and uniform, but look, after a little bit of time's gone by, just how bad this looks. So, I hope this all makes sense. I hope, you know, pictures and videos here are kind of telling you exactly what I mean. I know, like I said, I'm going on, and they stained this themselves, you know, and they understand what they did. That's why they're calling me to fix everything. So they got stain everywhere when they did this. But we'll get this fixed for him. The only problem is when you're doing these and someone's already applied, you know, an oil-based stain and sealer to the wood, it's almost impossible to reverse it and put it back to the right stain, to the water-based stain and sealer, unless you use like real sophisticated deck strippers. They're just so bad for the environment, the ecosystem. I find it very hard to use those products. The oil-based stains and sealers, they penetrate deep into the wood and they clog them pores up, and once they clog them pores up, it's, you know, you have to have open pores in any substrate to get any kind of coating or stain or paint or anything to adhere. So you got to get in here with stain strippers and just strip this deck and get it back down to bare wood, then put your water-based stain and sealer over the top of it. Which gets very costly. This customer here is just wanting to know if we could come in here and clean this deck. He wants my advice. I don't know how much money he wants to spend on this particular project. The right way to do it is, sure, you'd come in here and you would strip all this oil-based stain off this decking and start again, and you'd redo it with a water-based stain and sealer. It's pretty labor intensive. I don't like using those products unless I'm forced to, and I'll never do it over any of our waterways whatsoever. I mean, this is his yard. If he wants to use, you know, a non-eco-friendly product, that's kind of his choice. I mean, it's, once you get these non-eco-friendly products in the ecosystem, it's tough to grow plants. And this is his yard though, so if that's what he wants, you know, I'd be open to doing this project for him. If he lived on a lake or on a river or the ocean, I would walk away from this project in 2 seconds. Or the other alternative here is, the cheaper alternative is to clean this the right way and then reapplying an oil-based stain and sealer over the top of it again. But again, I mean, I can make this, you know, I can apply the oil-based stain and sealer, and where, you know, the same length of time here that's gone by, the year and a half, it'll look 10,000 times better than this. But I will never be able to stop the mildew growth or anything like that. But I can make it look a heck of a lot more uniform and a lot more pleasant to look at. The problem, like I said, using these oil-based stains, they you know, besides the fact they dry too hard and crack and break, they attract mildew like crazy. Every time you top coat them, they get cloudy. They fade so fast. There's no color retention in oil-based products at all. So it's especially in the stains on a horizontal surface that's just taking the blunt of the sunlight on a daily basis, you know. So switching this to a water-based stain is certainly going to cost him some money. Excuse me. Wow. So if he wants to do it the cheaper way, we can use the oil-based stain and sealer again.